Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you're here because today's story it's one of those that's going to stick with you. And I just want to ask you right up front to please stay with me till the end because when we get there, I've got something important to share. A few things to think about that might just change how you look at family, forgiveness, and life after 50. You see, being a justice of the peace comes with a lot of duties. Some are light-hearted, like weddings and, paperwork, but some they carry real weight. And a few weeks ago, I got a call to a death in our county, and what I found that day reminded me how easy it is to let time and pride separate us from the people who matter most. Now, this story starts off sad, but I promise it ends with a message of hope. The call I received was an 82-year-old man was found deceased in his home. Now, when you've been doing this a while, like I have, you learn to expect these calls. But something about this one was different. It wasn't a family member who found him. It wasn't a friend. It was someone from the local gym who noticed that he hadn't showed up in a few weeks. And this man had never missed a day, not one. And when they didn't see him, they knew something wasn't right. And the local police, they went out and checked. And when they got there, they saw the flies gathering on the window outside. You never want to see that. It told a grim story. He had been gone for a while and alone. Now, when I got there, the house was quiet. It was the heavy kind of quiet that almost feels like it has a sound of its own. He was found inside, and it looked like he had been gone maybe a couple of weeks. No foul play, no signs of struggle, just stillness. The officers said they knew him. He was somewhat of a regular around town. He went to coffee shops and, talked to folks here and there, and he could never stay anywhere very long. He'd get upset with someone, switch coffee shops, and repeat the pattern all over again. And standing there looking around his small empty house, I couldn't help but think this man lived 82 years and no one noticed he was missing for 2 weeks. That hit me. When you get past 50, you start to see life through a different lens. You realize just how fast time moves and how quickly people come and go. And if you're not careful, pride, anger, and hurt can push you into a kind of loneliness that you don't even see coming. Because this was an unattended death, I had to order an autopsy. No medical records, no family, no one to give background or history. The officers searched his home and they found a few phone numbers written on a few slips of paper here and there. They called, but nobody ever picked up. Days turned into weeks. Then the morgue called me. They needed to know if we had located the next of kin, and we hadn't. The next step would have been a pauper's burial. One paid for by the county because no family could be found. And let me tell you, that never sits right with me. No matter who someone was, how they lived, or what they believed, nobody deserves to leave this world alone and unnoticed. Something in my spirit told me, don't give up just yet. So I called the officers and I asked them to, let's try one more time, one more round of phone calls. So a few days later, they finally reached someone. A woman answered, and it was his niece. And she was surprised, said she hadn't heard from her uncle in years. In fact, she didn't even know he was still alive. Her mom, which is his sister, had already passed, along with all of his other siblings. She said her uncle was always difficult, didn't get along with anyone, always angry at somebody, and eventually he just cut off everyone. But even through her frustration, I could hear it, that hint of sadness, that little crack in her voice, because even when someone's been hard to love, it still hurts to lose them. She agreed to serve as his next of kin so, he could have a proper burial. And I thought maybe that small act of kindness from a woman he hadn't spoken to in decades was the last bit of grace that God wanted him to have. And that night, I couldn't shake the thought of that man. 82 years. 82 years alone in his house and no one left to check on him. After 50, life changes. The kids are grown. The grandkids have their own schedules. Friends move away and retire or pass on. And if we're not intentional, we can start to isolate ourselves too. And it doesn't always happen out of bitterness. Sometimes it's just life. But little by little, we pull back. Michelle and I talk about this a lot, how this season of life can either be one of deep connection or quiet loneliness. And the difference also comes down to choice. Now, I've spent 21 years in law enforcement and over a decade as a justice of the peace. I've seen how quickly life can change. One heartbeat, one moment. And I've learned that at the end of the day, it's not your titles, your job, or your possessions that matter. It's your relationships. It's the people who love you, the ones who remember you, and the ones who show up. And if you're over 50 and feeling distant from family or friends, maybe this story's your nudge to pick up the phone, send that text, and stop by for a visit. It's never too late to reconnect. And I won't lie, sometimes this job gets heavy. When I stand in a home where someone's been gone for weeks, it's impossible not to feel the weight of it. But those moments also remind me just how blessed I am. I've got Michelle by my side. I've got 4 grown kids and 11 grandkids who keep life interesting. I've got friends and I've got this amazing community here online, my channel. You all who share your stories and experiences with me. That's what keeps me grateful. And that's what I want to encourage you with today. Don't take those blessings for granted. Because even in the saddest stories, there's still a lesson. And often, there's still hope. That niece, she could have said no. She could have turned her back, but she didn't. She gave her uncle a name and a final resting place and a small piece of dignity. Maybe that was her healing too. So here's what I hope that you take away from this story today. Don't wait too long to make things right. If there's someone you need to call them. If there's a hurt that needs mending, start mending. And if you're the one who's pulled away, come back home. Life's too short to stay angry, too precious to waste on pride. And if you're watching this right now and you're feeling alone, maybe you don't have family close, or maybe things just haven't gone the way you'd hoped. Please hear this. You still matter. You're still loved. God still has a place for you in life. Every breath you take is proof that He's not done with you yet. So let's take the sadness and turn it into gladness. Let's use our stories, even the painful ones, to remind us that connection and compassion are what truly count. Thanks for spending this time with me today. And if this story touched your heart, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And if you're new here, welcome to Brew Crew Beyond 50. Around here, we talk a lot about real life, the good, the hard, and the hope that carries us through it all. Until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And remember, life's better when we walk it together. God bless you all, and I'll see you in that next video.